Good morning, YouTube. I got this old trailer here behind me. What I want to do is convert it into a mobile goat hotspot, I guess, if you will. It won't be really a shelter from overnight stuff, but it'll be for when they're out on the pasture during the day. I'll have hay racks on it, water, and then I'll have a shade element, either an enclosed area or just I'm thinking maybe like a large platform on top that makes a lot of shade for them to sit underneath. And then as we move them around, we can move this with it, maybe even keep some other things on it that might be useful to us. But it's going to be a flyby, seat of my pants type of thing. I'm going to just disassemble what I got here, and then I'll probably take a few moments to ponder what I can make, and then I'll get to it. So for starters, I thought we could just look at what we got. So I bought this trailer about 10 years ago in Maine, and we've used it for everything. I mean, everything really. I moved my chicken coop across town on it. We used to load it up with stuff and drive all the way from Bangor back up home. When we moved down here from Maine, it was loaded just to the gills and overflowing with stuff. So we really got our money's worth out of it. But its last use was as a kid's hayride type thing, and I've already stripped pieces off to build other projects. But most of this wood I'll probably use in this build. I got to remove all the wiring and all the old hardware. Just clean it up. I'll leave the deck, but everything else will come off it. Bunch of trash in here. It's been sitting for 10 months. But it'll be good. I think I might have to upgrade the wheel on the front just because I'll be on the pasture where it's a little rougher. And what I was thinking about doing is putting like a bicycle fork and using a bike tire, because that would give me something bigger to roll around up there. But that's not a priority. I got something on there now. I'll probably just make it work with that. So I'll set you guys up and we'll do some time lapse. So as I had said, this trailer serves us really well over the years. Thankfully, I'm able to use in this coming project just about all the wood and screws. I save all the screws that are good anyhow. Some of them strip out, and I reuse all that stuff. The box at the bottom was just a few inches too big, too long, so I had to take it down and cut about somewhere between 4 to 6 inches off the overall length of it. Okay, good morning, folks. So I'm going to pick up where I left off yesterday, and I think I modified the plan a little bit. I was going to have it just be a goat shelter and feed type station, but I think what I'm going to do is create a small coop on the back and still have the hay fixtures up on the front, and I'll still extend the roof out so there's shade components, and that way the goats can facilitate heat feeding, water, and shade off of this, and the chickens would have a mobile coop, and then of course a watering station and shade too as well. They'll congregate underneath there and dust bath and whatnot. this is what we got so far. Just the shell for the chicken coop, really. Excuse me. This metal was an old piece. It's been laying on the ground for a couple of years. But this should be okay. I got it overlapped quite a bit. I don't think the rain's gonna get under there. And I could probably bend it back with a little bit of effort here. So, this is what we got. I just stepped in dog shit. That's awesome. Okay, so at the front of the trailer here, I'm gonna build a little box that the hay can go in. And I think I still want to try to incorporate putting the water on here somehow. I think I might be able to do it at the tongue of the trailer. Just build a small platform and set the barrel on there. But I'll take you guys over to the tractor and we'll do some cutting over there, and then we'll come back over here and do some assembling. Good morning, YouTube. So, looking at the front end here, I'm gonna enclose this, and I gotta put some panels on the very front right here. Close that in, and then I need to come up with a cover for the very top to keep moisture from rain and stuff getting in there. And then the last thing I want to do is on the front hitch somewhere. You can't really see it, but up here I want to put a water station. So, little part of this. I got a couple hand cuts I'm going to do, and then we'll get this thing put together. This is what we got so far. I gotta figure something out to keep this secure. It's gonna be pretty heavy with water, but I gotta find a way to just make sure it doesn't tip off when I'm moving it. This little thing is a little sloppy, but I just wanted that air ventilation to get in there so the hay doesn't get musty. We'll put in and replace hay on the daily, but if it does get wet in there, having it as open as I can, it should dry it out pretty quick. Of course, the eaves, which the animals will take advantage of the shade underneath. I'm probably going to mount a couple nesting boxes, maybe one on each side, just to give the birds some options. I got to put a roost in there. It's up in the coop. I'm going to take it out and put it in here, and then I'll build the rest of the wall once I have the door and I know the dimensions. But it's going to be a pretty, I think, worthwhile machine. I'll be able to tow it anywhere I want to out there, and then we just put the electric fence up around it, and that should be that. Save train. Yep. That'll do. Didn't spend a dime. It's all just scrap that was laying around, and the only thing I may have to buy is an actual spigot for the barrel. I'm not sure if I'm going to have a spigot to open it and just drain into pail of water for them to drink out of, or just leave it as is and then just dip the pail into the drum of water to get it out. That way I don't ruin the barrel. But pretty happy with it. Like I said, it's all just scrap. It looks like it, that's for sure. But it definitely will serve it a purpose, and it should serve us rather well. So I had to come up to the barn, and I'm scavenging some things off of different places, but these crates are nesting boxes we had fastened up. We're not going to have it in the barn anymore since the chickens are going to be in this mobile thing. And then same thing with the roost. I took it out of their coop. It's going to go in the new coop. And we're just going to try the mobile thing, and we'll see how it goes. But we'll give them every chance to be successful in there with everything they need. All right, so I reckon I'm gonna have to crawl up in there. Try to do this in the least comical way possible. stuffy little job. So as far as these boxes go, I'm gonna just hang one under each eave here. That way they'll have a couple of them. Chickens are pretty much creatures of habit, so most likely they'll pick one of these boxes and it'll be the one they use all the time. Not 100% sure how those will work. Our chickens didn't have a problem in the barn using them, but this is gonna just be out in the wide open, and they might not like doing it in the open, laying eggs in the open. So I might have to put them somehow inside the back of the coop, kind of like I got that one sitting there. But for the now time, I'm just gonna mount it on the side, one on each side. So it's a little different. That might offer a little more shelter because, you know, they'll feel this confined space a little more. I won't know until I have them out there and living in this thing. So that's that until I get the stuff for the back. I have the wood. I'm just waiting on the door, and I'll do that all at the same time. But nice little eave, nice little basket, and then up front we'll have the hay bin where we'll just load that up with hay. Just undo the little cord. Boom, I can load it up with hay, and they'll be good for multiple days at a time. I'll just have to come down and, you know, on our daily visit, probably move the hay. I have cut one of these drums. It's probably cut down to about halfway, and that might work just as well. It would be less weight on the tongue, and it would still be roughly 25 gallons. And the goats go through about a gallon or so of water a day. Some days more, obviously. So I in theory, I could get away with probably, 3 weeks of water at a time, which is pretty good. And this is just the other side. So if you could imagine this, what we'll use is our electric fencing that we have, and we'll move it, make a big circle. I'll just leave one end open wheel this in there, close the circle, and when it comes time to move, all I gotta do is wheel this down the pasture enough distance and put up the fence, and the whole process begins again. And what's nice is the goats will eat it, they'll eat the tall stuff down, and then the chickens can be in there with them, catching all the bugs and stuff that get kicked up, and also cleaning up their feces if there's any parasites in there. So I think it'll work. I think it'll really help our pasture too. So we'll just wait and see.